Hi guys and welcome to my video on Haikyuu Season 3 Episode 3, and we're really getting into the good stuff now. We're really getting into the good stuff. Let's just start talking about TENDOU because he was one of the main people in this episode. Him and one other guy that I'm gonna talk about later. But yeah, if you've been following these videos, you'll know that from having read the manga, no spoilers of course if you're anime only, from having read the manga I wasn't a big fan of TENDOU, and I've been waiting for the anime to make me like him, and this episode did it. He's not my favorite character of course because I'm still easing into liking him, but this character really did it for me. His voice actor just brings so much life to his character, and his way of speaking is it's just very fun. And I just really like him, and the things that I really found annoying about him in the manga is erased by the way it's handled by the animation studio and the voice actor, so I mean that's just really great. And Goshiki isn't annoying me at all, which is also a plus because I didn't like him either, but he's kind of getting a fresh start in my book, and I know that later in the game he'll do some cool stuff, so I'm really looking forward to that. I am reminded though that I really hate their coach, and that's not gonna change no matter what he does. And yeah, I know what his story is gonna be from here on out in the match and stuff like that, because minor spoiler, we get more information about him. But yeah, my opinion of hating him is not gonna change because I really don't like him. I just disagree with his ideas in general. But yeah, TENDOU, he really did it for me in this episode, so I'm really happy, and I'm really happy with the way that they handle his I was about to say his quirky personality, but like the way he plays as a middle blocker with his guest block, which I just think is so interesting, especially if you're a manga reader right now. The people we're up against in the manga, their blocks are so different from TENDOU, so it's really fun going from the manga, which I just reviewed an hour or two ago, and then to TENDOU, who just has this very unique way of blocking, and it's so fun because it's nothing we've ever seen before. And I also think it's fun to point out that yes, this is a person who has such a unique way of blocking, yet Kageyama is somehow the worst possible setup for him, because the way he works, if you haven't completely figured it out yet, is that he looks at the court and he basically has the ability to look at everything, like in a split second decide that okay, these are the possibilities, like all the possibilities, like Ukai said it down, like there's the there's the 2 dump attack by Kageyama, there's all the spikers including the back attacks, and then there's the opportunity for others or whatever. He said there was all these options, and within these options there are, like, when you set to the spiker or Kageyama does the attack himself, there are multiple ways you can attack, like where do you set the attack, like how much strength do you goes into it and stuff like that. And TENDOU has this really great way of deciding that okay, I can see exactly in this split second that this player won't be able to make the spike, so I can rule that person out, and I can see that if this player goes in for the spike, then he'll probably spike in this direction because of these circumstances and stuff like that. And by eliminating a few possibilities, he can say, okay, it's smartest if the setter sets the ball here. And he's completely perfected this intuition plus super skilled observation skill that he has, and that just makes his guess block, because it comes down to guessing, because there will most likely always be more than one possibility for the setter unless he's like really cornered. But TENDOU has just perfected that skill, and that just makes him so dangerous. And as I said, because he's up against Kageyama, because Kageyama almost gives nothing away when he sets a toss, and what gives him away the first time where TENDOU talks about it is that he tries to kind of fake that he's setting the ball to Asahi, I think, and TENDOU's like, okay, that was so fake, so I know you won't set it to him. But Kageyama is very competitive and he's very quick to figuring out, okay, you know how to read me, so if I just blank out completely, you won't be able to tell anything from my form, which their setter, Shirabu I think his name is, who I really like, he's very quick to be like, okay, Kageyama is just really skill setter, because even I, as a person who plays the same position, I can't tell where you're gonna set the ball until after the toss goes up. And that's just so amazing, and I think that's something that we sometimes forget about Kageyama, because that's something that was put a lot of emphasis on in the beginning of the series, like the first 5 or 10 episodes of the first season, and then I think we kind of forget it. And then it comes back into this, and it's really great, because it just shows that, yeah, Kageyama is an actual genius. And it's not just something that people say. We also have a lot of fun moments with Tsukishima especially, and especially with Tsukishima and Yamaguchi when they're like, well, maybe Kageyama could do this and that to counter TENDOU. We have that little weird animation with Kageyama just having a lot of arms going all over the place, and it's just, I find those moments really funny, because that's like, I like sarcastic and salty Tsukishima. And also when Tsukishima gets on court, I'm gonna talk about Tsuki now because I love him a lot. But when he gets on court, I think it's for the last time, the last 5 minutes of the episode, and TENDOU just go, oh, it's the normal guy, and he just gets so pissed off, and then he makes a play that gives him a point, and he's just, hi, I'm the normal guy, and TENDOU is just so pissed off and like, you're the most annoying of the first years, and Tsuki's like, thank you very much. That is the best thing ever. I love that so much about Tsukishima's character, because him and TENDOU just doesn't go well together. Their personalities are just so opposite. Like, Tsukishima hates Kageyama for entirely different reasons, and Hinata rubs him the wrong way, but TENDOU is just the epiphany of what he doesn't like in a person and what really rubs him the wrong way. So I really like their dynamics, because they're both middle bloggers, and they also both have different ways of seeing blocking, because for TENDOU, as he says in this episode, blocking isn't about stopping the spike, it's about slamming it down. And as you might have guessed from Tsuki's way of playing right now, his play is not smacking down the ball, it's stopping them and giving either the libero, as you see in the end of the episode, a better chance of receiving the ball, because that gives their spikers a chance to get a point, or he just stops it so that the spike won't go at full force, which you might have guessed, because they haven't actually been able to block Ushiwaka at any point so far. Which I wanna talk about that for a little bit, because even though most of this episode was about TENDOU, even then Ushijima is still just spiking and getting points in the background. Like, he's not centered in the episode, but he's still such a big threat. Like, they have no clue what to do with him. Like, Nishinoya has received a couple of his spikes, but he can't always do that, and while Tsukishima and all of the other bloggers, of course, they really do try to block Ushijima, they can't do it. He's too strong, and that's just so amazing. And let me go back to talking about Tsukishima, because I wasn't done talking about him. My favorite moment of this episode is when it's the last time out, and they're going back on court, and Tsukishima just stops everyone and says, can you please let me handle the timing of our 3-man block? That is my favorite thing, because it shows just how far Tsukishima has come. Not only is he initiating, like, he's saying he will take control of a strategy. He's like, leave it to me, I'll make sure that the block goes as well as it can. He's also just, in general, speaking to people about things that will help them a match. He would not have done that in the beginning of season 1. He's just come so far, and he's actually wanting to win this match. Like, really, from the bottom of his heart. I really, really like that. And I'm gonna not spoil anything, but I will say this. Next episode has my favorite moment from the entire series. This match in general has 2 of my favorite moments, and my favorite, my #1 favorite, comes the next episode, and I am so psyched. You have no idea. This, oh my god, it's just, you have no idea. I am so hyped, because for a moment I thought we were gonna get it in this episode, But then I was like, okay, no, it deserves an episode for itself. And I also knew because the title on 100% will have something to do with the with the moment that I really love. But yeah, look, next episode is gonna be so goddamn good. You have no idea. I am so fucking hyped just thinking about it now, and I just I'm so psyched. The last thing I want to talk about, unless I somehow remember something else that I need to talk about, but yeah, the last thing I want to talk about is the scene we have with Yamaguchi and Tsukishima, where Yamaguchi is getting ready to serve and Tsukishima is there to block him. And I just... everything about Yamaguchi in that scene where he gets in, does his pinch serve, and just everything about that is so beautiful to me, because we have Yamaguchi on the sideline just begging silently for Ukai to put him in the match because he knows he can contribute to something. And then when he's finally on that match, on that court, he switches with Hinata, and he has that line of remembering Hinata just saying, "With me on the court, you are invincible." Of course, that was his line to Kageyama. And then you have Tsukishima just going on court, standing behind Tsukishima and saying, "I might not be confident enough to say that, but I know that I'm strong enough to support you." And I just think that's so beautiful, because we just see how far Yamaguchi has come since the first season and the first episode, or second episode where we met him for the first time. And I just think that's so beautiful, because now Yamaguchi has a place on the court, and going back to him in the beginning, he was always kind of left out. Like, he was the only first year who wasn't a regular, and he was on the sidelines, and he practiced his serve, but it was always outside the team. He practiced with Makoto, I know his first name is, but what's his actual name that they refer? I don't remember. But the dude he practices with the glasses, he always practiced outside the team, and when he finally became good enough, or kind of good enough, to use this technique of his, like the first time was a Seijo match where the point that he got, did he even get a point? He didn't even get a point. He completely failed, and then the second time he was put in a Wakunan match, he backed out of it, and he just did something that he shouldn't have done. And then he finally came through in the Seijo match, and he got those 5 consecutive points. We were just like, that's one of my favorite episodes in the entire series, that one half of, I think it's like episode 21 of the second season, where we just have Yamaguchi just shining and being a complete badass. And I just think that it's so amazing seeing him being so confident as a pinch server. And even though he fails in this episode, it's still like he still has that confidence about it. Instead of being like, oh, I failed, he's like, next time I'll do better. Next time I'll definitely score a point. And it's so beautiful, and especially because when he has that line of, "I'm finally able to contribute something, I'll be of help," it's not really to the whole team, it's to Tsukishima, who he's always been with him, he's always looked up to him. And we know from the second season that one of the playing styles that Yamaguchi is really inspired by is what the Ubagawa team uses, the serve and block, which is basically what Yamaguchi and Tsukishima is. And basically, if you don't remember what the serve and block is, it's basically starting off with a powerful serve that's either impossible or very difficult to receive, and should the opponent receive this very difficult serve, they will be so thrown off that it'll be easier for their blockers to just take a point, block their spikes, their opponent's spikes. And that's just exactly what Yamaguchi and Tsukishima is, because at this point in time, they have both developed into such good players. And it's around the same time, like that middle of the second season, where both of them really took off, and they've just, even though they've been growing by themselves and not really around each other, it fits so well with that duo they have going with the block and serve. And I just really fucking love that. I just really love their dynamics, because they've known each other from elementary school, and at some point, like, they're always together, we always see them together, yet their playing styles have been developed not by each other's sides, but alone. Like, Tsukishima had been practicing with Bokuto and Kuro, and Yamaguchi has been practicing with, again, Makoto, whose name I don't remember. And they've slowly just come together and into this team, and they're able to support each other so well. And just having Tsukishima just being like, nice serve, and it's, everything about that scene was just so heartwarming. I really fucking love it. Especially when we go back to that scene in the second season where Yamaguchi just really stood out to Tsukishima, was like, really, where the fuck is your pride? Like, fuck, man. I just really love that. Yeah, I'm gonna stop now. If you couldn't tell, I really liked this episode. It was just so amazing. Damn, I'm so hyped now. I was really tired before hitting record on this, and then just woke up talking about this because Haikyuu just really does something to me. If you liked anything that I had to say, please leave a thumbs up on the video. Leave in the comments below what you thought of this episode, and subscribe if you want to see more of me. I do reviews of One Piece, Haikyuu the manga, Shokugeki no Soma, also known as Food Wars, Boku no Hero Academia, and I do videos more in style with this one for the One Piece anime. So if you're into any of those, you can subscribe, and until next time, bye!